to the sand, we'll talk about it. Viewers, very important. Amid the roar of jet engines and the buzz of innovation, India's Tejas fighter jet carved through the skies with precision, power and breathtaking agility at the Dubai Airshow, quickly becoming one of the most talked about attractions. Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, or HAL, captured global attention with its impressive scale model of the Tejas Mk2 light combat aircraft, or the LCA, which drew widespread praise as the event opened to thousands of visitors. And we have with us Group Captain Anant Mathur, former test pilot of the IAF, and Air Vice Marshal Sean Bell, former fighter pilot of the Royal Air Force, with us. Let's evaluate this particular aircraft that seems to be wowing the world. Let me begin with you, Group Captain Mathur. Why suddenly has the Tejas won applause? What did it do in these 2 or 5 minutes that people thought it was capable of doing a lot more?
Good evening, Rahul. Tejas has always been drawing attention by people, those who are in the aviation industry for quite some time now. And we were very close to signing a few deals with different air forces of the world. But please understand, fighter aircraft is sold not just because it is good, it is also because of the stature of the country which is supporting that fighter aircraft. Now, as we become stronger and our instruments of power like diplomacy, information warfare, military and economic growth becomes stronger day by day, we will find those who were not allowed to buy Tejas suddenly get interested in Tejas, because let me tell you, it is an amazing aircraft. It is a light combat aircraft which ticks all the boxes which are required by certain air forces. Every time you don't need to buy a Rolls Royce. You can make do with a lethal, small, value for money product which surpasses all the other class aircraft in its class itself. Okay. And that is why Tejas becomes more and more important. It has shown its maturity over the years in India, having flown in by the Indian Air Force and taken part in different exercises and performed creditably. And that is why Tejas becomes an important aircraft.
There are issues with its rollout. We'll come to that. But I want to ask the Air Vice Marshal, Sean Bell. Air Vice Marshal Bell, how do you compare this particular aircraft in its own class?
Yes, hello, Rahul. It's a great question. It's competing with lots of other aircraft, as your group captain said. You know, it's not trying to be the best in the world. It doesn't have to be. It has to be able to satisfy lots of other customers. It is a light combat aircraft. It's a Gen 4, Gen 5. The latest aircraft are all Gen 5. Single engine, supersonic. It's a very capable aircraft. But I think one of the things that air shows are very good about is showing aircraft making a lot of noise, being very maneuverable, doing lots of very tight aerobatic maneuvers. But modern warfare is not really about that. Films like Top Gun have showcased, you know, you do a knife fight in a phone box, we used to call it. But these days, modern combat is done at ranges of over 100 miles away, where you use stealth, you get your enemy aircraft never sees you, and you've got weapons in the air long before you get anywhere near that fight. So I do think it's not trying to be a competitor to things like the F-35. What it is trying to do is carve a niche, and it does appear, certainly at the moment, to be very capable. But how good is the radar? How good are the defensive aids? How good are all of the other elements that make up a modern fighter jet? You can't see that in the air show. That, I'm afraid, I don't have an insight into.
A quick comment on that aspect of it, Group Captain Mathur.
So the aircraft does have, as per open source intelligence that I would like to cover here, AESA radar, which allows multiple target tracking. It has the relevant missiles, and of course, as India grows its homegrown missiles and also increases the range of these missiles, We are there already. We have the BVR capability on the Tejas today. We have the self-defense suit, which is including the self-projecting, SPJ, which jams all the radiations which are coming onto the aircraft per se. Also has the chaff and flare dispensers. It also has all the infrared pods which will allow you to fire the laser guided bombs and other bombs. Various other offensive and defensive missiles have already been integrated. Where we are going forward is where we are wanting from the Indian Air Force perspective, is the speed at which we get the aircraft in our arsenal. And that is the only issue lagging. Let's also understand one thing. Even the F-35 is going through an upgrade today. So it's not that an aircraft that is bought is always the finished product. And when you are making your own aircraft, there is a continuous level of improvement in the aircraft. We have the Tejas Mark 1, we have the Tejas Mark 2 coming surely in the next couple of years, already planned to be there in our country by the next year end. And then we are going to have continuous upgrades on this aircraft. But definitely we have a winner on our hands in terms of the aircraft's superior capabilities, thrust to weight ratio. And India is very good in integrating the aspects which the Air Marshal is bringing out. That is integrating weapons, integrating software-enabled systems in the aircraft. And that is our strength, actually.
So let me bring in the Air Marshal once again. Air Marshal Bell, how does this compare to a JF-17, for instance? Give us the outsider's perspective.
Well, the danger is that we're on sort of an open line, and the danger is there's what you see, and I think the group captain is absolutely right. It's what you see, but it's also what you don't see. It's the E-scan radar, for example, of India is by all accounts a very good radar. The other thing that you get with Indian aircraft, as well as the F-35, a bit like your mobile phone, nearly every evening you're having to upgrade it with new software. Well, new aircraft now, they're constantly being upgraded, constantly uprated to meet the growing threats. And as a result of that, any modern aircraft will inevitably be focused at having a battle-winning capability over some of its immediate threats. The one thing that this light combat aircraft doesn't have is the stealth capability, but you have to remember that you only need stealth against certain adversaries. And sometimes some of the springs that go onto a stealth aeroplane become very expensive, very difficult to maintain. And that's why I think India probably is on a winner with this light combat aircraft.
Well, viewers, you've heard two perspectives, one from the inside and one view from the outside. I leave it at this. Thank you for watching. Palki Sharma up next with The Vantage. Don't go away.